something that I wanted to just cover at the very beginning is, when we were downstairs, we had a discussion about veteran suicide, and you had just lost your 36th close friend, not just acquaintance, close friend. And I've lost, I quit counting. I don't want to know the number, but I just wanted to open the floor for you on that because it sounds like it's pretty fresh. And
I told myself the same thing at one point: is stop counting. Let's just stop paying attention to it. And it was really hard to stop paying attention to it. When you get that call in the middle of the night or an email or text next day, hey, bro, you know what happened? And so instead of running away from it, which I think I did for a long time in the very beginning, because I'm sure we'll get into it more, but I did not know how to deal with loss. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to define it. And I started, instead of running away from it, diving into it and saying, how can I maybe do something to prevent this from happening more? And you're not going to stop it, right? It's not going to stop, but we've got to change the message somehow, some way, and help people reframe the situation that's in their life, the circumstances that's happening to them at this point in time, as they may not understand them. I mean, I've had my dark moments where I get reckless in the past. I've, knock on wood, I've never had suicidal, like I'm going to go do this right now. And so maybe I'm blessed, or maybe I'm not blessed. Maybe some people have had those situations in their life. And even that, I had a friend last night call me, and he was on the edge, and he's having bad anxiety, panic attacks. And then he said, yeah, I even put I think it was a 44 Magnum in his mouth and couldn't pull the trigger. And so I immediately asked him, was it wrong that you put a 44 Magnum in your mouth? And it's like, yeah, moment of silence. And he's like, I said, think about the answer before you say it. When was that? He said, a while back. I said, was it wrong that you did that? Because we're still having a conversation right now. And he says, no. I said, say it again. And so we worked through it from a mind architect standpoint to start to understand the meaning of an event, a decision that you might make, or a word that you might say that's incorrect. Like, look at depression. Everybody's depressed nowadays. Well, maybe you're not depressed. And maybe the best way to solve a problem is to identify there isn't one in the first place. Every time we want alone time, or we want to off gas, or I just need to get away from it all, man, I've got these anxieties and problems, I think that you could look at it as a word. A lot of experts are now starting to talk about this more. It's a compression state that you want to go into, to compress myself, to off gas the chaos and corruption of my day or my experience that I had. It's not, but you'll label it as depression versus compression. So if we can just maybe identify and define the words more that we use, the spelling, right? That's why they call them spells, because you're casting a spell every time you say, I'm depressed. Are you? Or you just need some compression time because you need that time. And I think we don't understand that. And so we just get more depressed and more anxiety comes on. And then next thing you know, I'm like, I want to end it all. I don't want to be here anymore. And next thing you know, we're creating organizations of trying to stop suicide. And I've even talked to the guys a long time ago. I haven't talked to anybody recently at Mission 22, but 22 vets a day die. Now it's up to 40. Yeah. Right now, as we speak and sit here, it's up to 40. Well, why is it up to 40? Maybe we're reminding them that it's okay to commit suicide instead of saying it's not okay. How about rebrand your company? I said this one time. They said, rebrand it next year as Mission 21, and then Mission 20, and then Mission 19, and they were like, they laughed at that. But so if anybody hears that now, I think that's a good idea, is to talk about how do we get rid of it, not just acknowledge it exists. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm trying to do, the best I can.